feel like this morning. Anyway, glad to have you back with us. We're coming to you live here in Suda 69, and this morning we're welcoming back our founder, the founder of Cyberbright, Emma Sharp Dalton Brown. But this time, she's trading in the Tech Talk for some parenting gold. Are you ready? Emma is here to discuss the brand new book, 10 Rules for Raising Kids in a High-Tech World, a must-read for navigating the digital age. Good morning, Emma.
Good morning.
I love your color.
Thank you.
You guys are matching.
Yeah.
Imagine if I had worn the same color, it would be a whole thing.
Yeah, we are true.
I bumped into you the other day,
Yes.
and you
I did
said
mention
to me
this
again,
book.
have you
You
read
have
this
this
book?
Yes.
And I bumped
Yeah.
into TK the same day, actually.
Right, yes.
And I said the same thing.
Yeah.
This book is gold. I'm telling you, it is definitely very timely, and it doesn't tell me anything new in like sort of what I've been teaching over the months here on CVM, but it kind of solidifies what I've been saying, and there's been a lot of research. So she's a PhD psychologist, Dr. Twenge, and she has written this fantastic book that is going to really empower parents, but also I think children should read it as well to understand. I mean, she starts off with basically, imagine when we were 10 or 11 or 12 or whatever age that children expect to get a smartphone. Now, saying to your parents, you need to spend $1,000 US, which is 160,000 Jamaican dollars.
Right
Please,
there.
let's just put it in real terms, right? On a device that we're then going to spend somewhere around 6,000 Jamaican dollars a month, more or less, depending on whether it's pay as you go or, to be able to contact our friends whenever we want, communicate with strangers, right? And do whatever we want all the time. And I'm going to constantly have my head down into my hand. If I had said that to my parents back in the 70s and the 80s, they would have said, are you joking?
Yeah.
But we're doing it. And in fact, we almost sort of like feel kind of gaslighted into like we're being mean parents if we don't, right? But the horse is out of the gate. So she has done a lot of research, and she has linked mental health, right, with social media use. So the UK, she's done a lot of research, and in the UK they had these studies that showed that for boys, right, the first hour or two of social media use was producing about 5% of depression. And then the moment after 2 hours, it exponentially went up to about 14-15% if it was 5 hours plus. Girls started off more, so I think if I remember correctly, it's in the book, if I remember correctly, it's something around 7-8%, but then it went up really, really high to like 37-38% of depression, right, percentage-wise, if they are going up to like 5 hours. So we have to be very careful.
You mentioned about, parents right off the bat, feeling sometimes like gaslighted into saying, no, you're a bad parent if you don't allow your children to. But you strongly also believe, as does the book, that you are the parent.
We are the parents. We set the rules, right? So we set the rules. So if you think about, let's say when you're a teenager, because sometimes people like later teenagers, we think they don't need rules. But they have rules around driving. So they now have their license, let's say, and they go out. If they were to get 1 or 2 speeding tickets in the month, would you not say, take away the key and be like, are you kidding me? 2 speeding tickets for the month? You can't have the car for 2 weeks, whatever you deem. Do you see what I'm saying? So putting in rules is important, and then giving them consequences for that.
Follow that.
Right? You must do that. And so this book goes through these 10 rules. And one of them is basically, the first one is you are the parent, right? And then you've got other rules like
there's one here: no phones or devices in the bedroom.
In the bedrooms, which I have discussed that ad nauseum. I mean, that single, if that is the single rule that you do, it is a must. And you need to have it in a place where they cannot sneak out. Because even she admits that the kids, her kids would sneak out. She'd find out that they'd snuck out and taken out the phone. You've got to put it in some sort of lockbox, right? Somewhere, but yours too, right? Because what happens in the middle of the night if a child...
lock up sometime.
Yes.
But if a child can't sleep, or if you can't sleep, you wake up to use the bathroom,
Yeah.
how many people reach over and go like this?
Yeah.
And the moment you start,
Yeah.
right, and they'll be, oh, I can't sleep. But they've also linked phone usage at night to not being able to sleep.
Yes,
There's a
yes.
lot of research.
I
right?
want to go into the next one. When is it appropriate to have social media? Because that is a big topic.
So
Yes.
she
Kids
says
want
when
to
you
be
get
in
your
it.
driver's license. Now in the
Wow.
States, they get their driver's license in most states when they're 16, right? So, and I agree. I will tell you, I agree. I have a
Well, in
16.
Jamaica, it's 18.
No, it's
17.
no, legally, you know, on the app says 13.
Sure, he meant for
these-
driving.
Oh, for driving.
Yeah.
No, it's 17.
Yes.
But you must have your
Provisional.
learners for at least 6 months.
But can I ask you a question? When you have like social media, like say an Instagram that has now come out with a teen app limit, which some parents might say, well, at least I'll do that. Do you think that's still just as, it's just like a
as bad.
gateway?
It's just a gateway. And
Got it.
these tech companies, they are designed, they want money. They get more money. The more you scroll, the more time you spend
Yes.
on something
Yes.
because it's advertising, right? It is not in their best interest. Right?
I think it's interesting how it's also affected, sorry to cut you, even how, like the other day I was on Instagram looking for something and I was like, this is awfully similar to scrolling on Instagram. Like it has become, it's like they've taken their cues from social media because it is so addictive. It is so what's gonna come
Right.
next. It is so linked
And
to
it's
that
the
feeling
content.
of almost gambling where you're like, what's next? Let me try
Right.
again. Is something gonna come up that, you know?
Yes.
So
Right.
imagine for an adult, that's very difficult. For a young
Correct.
mind, that's insane.
But our content is very different to a teenager's. So you might well get content that is just like news-based. A lot of my content, my algorithm is set
Yeah.
on cyber safety and
Right.
news, right?
Right.
So I get that feed. If my children, or if you take any child's, any teenager's social media account, right? Whether it's TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, their feed is very, very different.
Different, yes.
Right?
Yes, yes.
It's very
It
different.
is.
And it's
and if they
geared
just stop
towards-
on something for 1 second, the algorithm
they'll
decides
get more,
you like
right.
this.
So if it's about beauty and you've got a 10-year-old who's even interested in like anything beauty, because I'm telling you from 10, they're interested,
true.
the girls, right?
Yeah.
Then the moment that happens, they're fed these beauty
More and
things.
more and more.
Right? And then they get sort of fed sort of feeds that encourage anorexia, right? All based on looks and weight.
I want
You
to
know-
talk. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to talk about parental
Yes,
controls because I
yes.
mean, at the end of the day, we say, how do I fix this? You know, what do I need to do? What are some practical solutions?
Can I say something though? I recently had to put on parental controls on the devices because only, meaning it's iPads. And my son does have a phone that he can call us on. There's no social media or whatever. But he still have to put these controls on. And let me tell you something, it was a pain to do it. But it has been the biggest relief for me because now I can set times that you're allowed, time limits that you're allowed to be on your device.
Correct.
What time that iPad can be
Go
used
on,
from.
yes.
So it's not in the morning. One child has to use it for school. It's on for his school hours, but there's no games. He doesn't have any access to any of
Right.
those. And now I can time things like even if I say, okay, you are allowed a little time on kiddie YouTube, but you have 30 minutes. They have to come to me and say, Mommy, can I get more time? Can I get more time on this? And I then have to decide if that's it or
Yes,
it's not.
yes.
So parental controls have been a lifesaver for me who I'm not
very
being
important.
as rigid as, no, you can't have a device.
Right.
But it's like, hey, you can have a device, but it has rules attached to it and boundaries.
yeah.
What she says in the book, which is really quite interesting, and I found that. So I have one child who has an Android and one who has an iPhone. And they both, so the Android is Family Link, which by the way is a little bit more user-friendly for parental controls than the iPhone's parental controls. And she actually has found that it is worth paying the third party. So online, you can look up ways for parental controls that you'd pay for. So it works out about $75 for the whole year. And yes, that's not as desirable as free. However, actually it's
The
more
value.
efficient. And so she's done a lot of research on this. So it's something that I'm going to look into because I actually find Family Link far more superior to the iPhone's thing, because where that runs into problems is that if the iPhone is linked to the Mac, then what happens is at school, when they need to get on Canvas, which they do at our children's schools, right? All of a sudden they can't get on through Safari, through the search engine. And so you have to allow more
lots
time.
of workarounds,
It's a lot.
But this sounds like a great book. I love all of what you're bringing up. No phone zones, tablets. It goes into a lot of things that I think all parents
the
should
no
be
phone
reading.
zones is really important. Meal times, holidays,
absolutely.
having friends over. We should not be having a conversation while we're having coffee and all of us on our, do you see what I'm saying? Those are all
Put it
things.
on your list of books to read. Maybe give it as a Christmas gift to somebody
it's a
this
great
year.
book. And I have no link to this. I don't benefit from this. By the way. It's just a
She's
great
not an
book.
Amazon associate.
No. It's just
as always,
God.
you're such a great resource for things like this. I'm definitely going to be downloading this. As you said, it's not just great for our children. It's something as adults we need to be implementing way more in our homes. Rules and boundaries for us as adults with our phones. We feel that pull. I said to you earlier, the millennial in me, because I am a millennial, wants to sometimes throw away the whole thing, get a landline, and leave a message, write it on on a notepad. So thank you for being here. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you very much, both of you.
Again, we had Emma Sharp Dalton Brown here sharing with us those game-changing insights from 10 rules for raising kids in a high-tech world. Remember, parenting in the digital age is a journey, and knowledge is your best tool. So until next time when Emma sees us again, stay informed, stay connected, and keep those kids thriving. We have so much and so much more in store on Sunrise. So stay with us.
Emma.
Lock up your phone.
Always
Thanks,
well informed when you come.
So good. So good. Yeah. I need to download it.